I've never advocated that blind justice exists. It does not. But that's why you got to make changes in that system.
I hear you. Yes, and the question is, I guess the concern of what happens to people as we're waiting for it to get better. What's happening to folk? Yes, there's a responsibility from the community. There's a responsibility to make structural changes or try to change the system. That is part of our responsibility. I think we have too many of our folk going to jail, and not because they're not advocating, not because they perhaps not knocked on every door, but some of your plea bargains, I think even today, would be behind closed doors because people make mistakes and because there's still some folk who, you said, how they grew up and they have biases, and because they have the power, they exert or they act on those biases, and it's to the detriment of marginalized communities. And that becomes real also. There's somewhere also has to be a balance. It all can't be on the people, right? Somewhere the system has to be okay. Some focus who you hire as prosecuting attorneys, right? Are they coming with those biases? Are there ways that those biases are being sifted, that we're trying to discover where they come from? Somewhere there's also responsibility on the system.
But the system is just people.
And you got some screwed up people, and some of those people, come on, if plea bargaining is happening behind closed doors, even today you'll find some folk who will say, well, I was concerned about my family and I didn't want to risk, so I took the plea deal.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Real.
That's real.
That's real. And there ought to be a concern. And the pressure doesn't come from the people. That pressure comes from that person who is now the prosecuting attorney, who gets in, and because of his biases and everything else, and sometimes, it's not unreal, right?
Reverend, you're always looking for this perfect system, and
I'm not looking for a perfect system. I'm looking for just
perfect people.
I'm looking for a just system.
Okay,
and let's say, I don't think the system that we experience now is just enough.
And what's the fix for it? What's the fix for it?
On one side, it's the people. On the other side, it's the hearts of those who are part of the system. And if they're truly,
so you want to change hearts?
Today that's a hard thing to do. But somewhere as we look at who's in some of those places that they're serving, that because the heart's not right, they're hurting people.
Okay, but how do you change people's hearts? How does that happen?
That's a challenge, because if we could do that, we probably wouldn't have racism. we probably wouldn't have much of that goes on.
We have candy cane lollipops.